Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Virgo September 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant, and I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings for Virgoans over the course of the last month from different countries in the world over FaceTime and Skype. And if you might be interested to see what's involved in that, check out the description below. Now, I've also done healings for people as well. Over FaceTime and Skype in different countries. You see, I was provided the gift of clairvoyance and I was also provided the gift of healing at birth. But my soul contract is that for healing, I must not obtain any benefit myself. So that is to say, although I charge for readings, healings are free. There's no obligation, there's no catch, it's a free lunch. And so you or someone that you know may be interested to take advantage of that. Now, because it's my soul contract, it's what I must do, and I've been told to tell everybody, as many people as is possible, obviously before I die, which is going to be some time yet. Now, what I also know is that, well, as the subscribers know, that we don't have any video advertisements breaking into this content, so you get to enjoy the experience uninterrupted by video advertisements. And you also know that we just take 5 cards because we don't spend 2 seconds on a card, rather we spend a few minutes because it usually has a lot to say to us, doesn't it? You know that from your own experience and how they interplay with one another. So let's see what there is and get things underway for you, shall we? Now, I might use my pen to point out a couple of things which I think are interesting, at least as I see them, and you might also share my opinion, and that could have some bearing on what the meaning of the card is, and in particular how the energy should be interpreted in light of the image that's there. So let's get things underway, shall we? And there is 6 of Wands, Lust, Ace of Wands, 2 of Cups, Ace of Cups. I'm also going to take, now normally you never see me doing this, I'm going to take a mood card which were given to me, so I'm just going to see what comes up from the image and see what there is here for you. And that is step into the unknown. Well, come and sit down here next to me. You and I will have a good close look at the imagery on this artwork together, see what it has to say while I do the reading for you. Okay, now I said that we would have a look at one of these, whatever they're called, cards. I do like the image on it though. And it is step into the unknown. Well, the unknown, I'm getting the real, now you're blindfolded here, so you don't know what it is yet. Now, this is something new. Now, it could be you want to start a family. You want to move to a new house. You want to move to a new city, another state. You want to enter into a relationship with someone. You might want to take a job. There might be a new friendship that you're looking to do. There may be some new type of work. There may be something that you're doing around your house that's new. There could be some work in a charity that's undergoing. The point is that this thing which is new that you are going to start to do, the Spirit is bringing this upon you. You are, if you like, being pushed, almost the way Saturn pushes you into conforming with your soul contract and making sure that you stay on your soul path. This is what that is. And so it is for your psychological, physical, and spiritual growth that this is going to happen. And it's part of what you are here to do, among other things, of course. Now, it's important to look at details during this period because the fingerprints of the divine can be found in the most unexpected of places. Now, there was a major arcana around somewhere, as I recall, and it is where it is here, Lust. Okay, let's have a look at this picture. Firstly, there is assigned to it by the developer the glyph for Leo, well, there's a big lion there, so there's a lot of Leo creative energy coming around you at this period, center stage. Just don't get too far ahead of yourself or become arrogant or a prima donna. And this is a Hebrew letter, which is, I'm pretty sure that's Teth, and I'll speak to that in a moment. I just want to go on this image that's here first, and then we can go and see. I want to see what's here. Well, look, there is here a woman here, and I think that she is the moon, I would call her, illuminated by the lion's sun. Now, the cup that she holds is, well, that is marked with the emblem of the sun, and above it floats, you see this thing which is like a figure eight that's going around like that? That's actually the position, that's the path that the sun takes during the course of the year. And the sun, of course, is the ruler of Leo. And what we have is that, so if at midday on every day you were to take the position of the sun during the course of the year, it would seem to go higher or lower in the sky, in the heavens, and that's what that thing is there. Now, I think what's also going here is that in the background of the card, I mean, look at this thing here. There's a dark volcano that's there, and behind it rises the sun and the moon, which seem to be glued together by several stars. And there's this huge red rose that's blooming there. Red is for the red chakra of the base of the forces of Kundalini, as far as I'm concerned, and a rose as a symbol of the goddess and her spiritual powers. Now, in the foreground, there's three sunflowers and 3 shafts of wheat, which is a subtle reminder of the solar trinity of the spiritual sun, the intellectual sun, and the material sun. Or, thinking of it differently, a reminder of spirit, of soul, and of body. Now, all 3 must be harnessed by you with vigor and passion. Now, as I say, Leo is a very creative sign in some respects, and I do see with you a great degree of creativity, very creative talents coming through for you now. Now, it's called lust, because normally this card is called strength. Now, you will have strength during this card, during this month, but I don't mind the title of lust because it involves something more than just strength. What it involves is it involves an appetite, a devouring of all of the good things in life, all of the things in life, sucking everything up to bring it into yourself and to add to your experience. And there's the integration of your animalistic energies, I think, and you will be overcoming old fears and conditionings. You'll have control of your life forces. I have to say, it could well be a great love affair around here. And if you're in a committed relationship, I do see that being very satisfying. Now, it is certainly the case that you are not going to be punished by God, who has got no moral issues about your love life whatsoever. Guilt and self-inflicted punishment are wrong in this area. Now, I do think this can also refer to you having a passion for a particular situation, a particular activity, as well as a passion for a person. You will be desiring to engage with life to the fullest, and you'll also be comfortable with your sexuality and accept your carnal desires for what they are. That is, accept your sexual desires for what they are. Rejoice in them. But of course, don't let them throw your life out of balance. There is, as I say, a passionate relationship around here with a great degree of sexual and emotional intensity. And I think there's also the possibility here that you just do something because you just love it without over-analyzing it. Now, if you are ready to accept all of which you find in yourself, you will be able to move through everything with deep sensitivity, awareness, love, and understanding. Now, what areas of your life would you like to live out more fully? What has prevented you from doing so in the past? Are you ready to deal with this anew? Say this to yourself. I enjoy expressing my energy, vitality, and enthusiasm in all that I experience. I am a person of character and strength. I have unlimited creative resources to tap into and to express, and I enjoy living life to the utmost. Well, where do we go from there? That's such a great start, isn't it? What a wonderful life. Well, it just keeps getting better and better and better by the looks of it. Let's have a look at this thing here. Oh, did I talk about what that letter meant? Now, I think I mentioned that the letter's name is called, actually I'll just bring it in a little closer so that you can see the shape of it, because the shape is important. Now, this is it's called Teth. Now, I think it's the 9th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which actually literally means basket or nest. And it's the symbol of the good in all of creation. And it has to do with purity and impurity, teaching you to choose the good and also the realization that even within the bad things that happen, there is hidden good. Now this Teth, this letter, also represents femininity, pregnancy. It includes the kindness and mercy of creation and the principle that everything is eternal and that nothing is ever lost. Teth's energy or essence is feminine, and it represents the number 9 for the 9 months of pregnancy, and in a sense it's shaped like a womb as well, a container where things change and transform. It is the field of manifestation, the essence of the feminine that contains all in her. The infinite is contained in Teth, and it brings about the finite. Now, this contains kindness of mercy, of creation, as I say, and it teaches you to distinguish between the good and the bad. Now, you will remember the old Christian and Hebrew story in Genesis in chapter 2, where the characters Adam and Eve ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and bad. Well, when you get down here, when we come out of that Garden of Eden spiritual paradise and come into space-time, we know the difference between good and bad. And by choosing the good, you therefore clean and purify things, and to erase the bad deed that was once done by choosing good things afterwards. And it does contain the principle that nothing is lost, nothing is wasted, and that all is eternal. Well, having gone through that little byway there, it's just that I think that, at least that's how I interpret these letters here in the Hebrew script. Now, let's have a look here. The Ace of Wands, the root of the powers of fire. Well, this is really us taking a worm's eye view, I suppose, of this huge wand going up here, which has got the face of a man with a sort of a beard, which appears in the bark. And down here, you may be able to make out what seem to be forms or images of things that they're sort of starting to be there. They are yet to appear in manifestation, but they are potentially there waiting to come into space and time. And that is what is going on with you. This is a card of great potential for success here. Incidentally, I do think that you will have around you Leo and Cancer at this time. I think what's here is a strong energy, new start, passionate union also is coming through here, and your vital life forces are surging. I think it's the case that this you can use this energy only if you have a goal towards which you can direct it. The next step after releasing any blocks is to find the right framework in which to set this energy to work. You see, if all obstacles are out of the way, renewal in all areas and all levels of your life will take place, and this revitalizing power will fill your entire being with new light. Now, it is important for these free-flowing energies to have a creative outlet. I really do get the sense that this is a time in your life when you are going to have something of a breakthrough moment of insight and feel inspired and motivated to move your life forward. And I do think there's a big opportunity hanging around here ready to open up for you. You have the possibility, because you see, aces, as is depicted by these things which have not yet come into space and time, aces are about potential. And so what this is for you, it's about you tapping into your latent potential, or that potential which you have not yet made use of. So this is the perfect time to draw upon your imagination and make your dreams happen. Now, what attracts you to doing it the most? What gives you the most pleasure? And in what framework could you realize your dreams? And say to yourself, I express my energy and power openly. Now there's another ace here, so we should have a look at it, and it is a beauty for you, the Ace of Cups. Now I'm really getting around here Scorpio, Sagittarius, Libra. People are going to be important to you in that respect, is what I see. And we have first of all, we have the waters of matter, of space and time rippling away there, but from above, which you can take that as you would know that I intended, comes this tremendous pouring of love. Now this is metaphorically from above. And by the way, here's this moon in the background. The moon, of course, has great effect on the tides of bodies of water. And here is a big triangle, which is the symbol for water. Now what there is here also is there is from above, as I will call it, this essence of love which pours down and comes into this cup, which is made from a shell and creates a splash that is in the shape of a crown. Now there are a number of pearls which are growing around this shell, and this thing here is like the red ruby, the jewel which is hidden within you, the love and the jewel of the divine which is hidden within you. So there is here, as I see it, the real possibility here of overflowing love, emotional clarity, and a deep love of the self, which is important. Look, it's important to love yourself, do you know? If you don't love yourself, you don't know what it is that you are offering to someone else. You don't know what the worth of the thing that you're offering to someone else is. And if you don't know the worth of yourself and the love that you have for yourself, how can you assess the value of what someone says they are offering to you? So it's important to love yourself here. Now this is also this suit of cups embodies the experiences of relationships, the pursuit of happiness, love, fulfillment, pleasure, but of course we can't experience any of those things without the opposites. You can't understand joy unless we have understood sadness. It would all just be vanilla. But this is speaking of the potential here, and it's going to be actualized for love in its purest sense, abundance, maybe a new relationship coming about. Now, the relationship doesn't need to necessarily just be romantic. It can also be social, or it could be business relationship. This is particularly good for interpersonal relationships and for people who are involved in sales or consulting or working with other people. Now, I do also get the feeling here of birth or pregnancy, so you're going to hear of that, and I'm getting a great feeling of sensual passion. There's an emotional balance available to be used and drawn upon by you for, well, I think for at least the next 6 months. Now, really what's going on here is that the cup of unconditional love is being offered to you. Now, are you going to drink from it? I think this also represents unconditional love in the sense that you should also give and forgive unconditionally in order to get inner peace. You are in contact with all-embracing love. It fills you, and you can pass it on generously, lavishly to others. What is your way of expressing love? Say this to yourself. All-encompassing love fills me and my environment. Well, why don't we then have a look at what comes next? And it is this, the Lord of Love. And I'll speak first of the astrology, and then I'll look at the painting. Now, the astrology is said to be Venus in Cancer. Well, you know, it's pretty hard to get anything better from that in an astrological point of view, because Venus is astrologically known as the there are two benefics, two planets that bestow good fortune, happiness, and luck upon you. The major one is Jupiter. The other one is Venus. She's the lesser benefic. And what she also does is she brings relationships, love, happiness, sensuality, and she actually also, not many people know this, but she also brings good things to do with money and business. And Cancer, of course. Cancer is the most maternal of the signs, the most nurturing of the signs, and a good nest in which to lay the eggs of love and let them hatch. Now, looking at this, before we move away from that, let's look at this rather interesting painting that's going on here. Now, these things, there's two cups obviously there, and the water as usual. But what's interesting is these things are called hippocampi. Now, hippocampi in mythology, now there's one that's light and there's one that's dark, and they form together in a perfect combination of their polarities. In mythology, hippocampi came from the Greek word for horse monster, and the horse monsters were horses at the top and dolphins at the bottom, and they are associated with Poseidon, whose chariot was drawn over the surface of the sea waters by hippocampi. So that's interesting, isn't it? Now, above these creatures here are a couple of bees. Now, bees are the symbol that I ascribe to the creative impulse and the building of sweetness. Bees are, for me, feminine symbols of the harmony that results in creativity. Now, in nature, of course, bees go out there and they go and collect nectar, don't they? And they make it into honey. Now, actually, as a side comment, do you know where the word honeymoon comes from? So if you had a couple of people get together or married or what have you, and they said, well, we're now going to go on a honeymoon to somewhere. Do you know where that word comes from? Well, I'll tell you. It's got to do with bees. Because bees produce honey. And what people would do is they'd go into the beehives, take the honey, and then they would turn the honey, ferment it, to create an alcoholic drink known as mead, which is a kind of a beer. So it was alcoholic drink. And what they would also do is that they would give the couple a month's worth of mead to drink. Now, a month is the period that the moon takes to go around. So month, moon. So honey, moon. That's how it comes about. I don't know how I happen to know that. It's just something very tragic about me in that respect. You know, the trivia that I picked up over the years. Now, this can indicate a possibility of pre-pregnancy or some honeymoon period following an event or an agreement or a meeting or in fact even an actual getting together. Now, what is unmistakable here is that, and you can see it, the vibe coming up from here is that we are talking for you during this period of close bonds, togetherness, love, harmony, and a relationship that is strengthening. Certainly mutual love and respect, receptive love, happy relationships, and an emotional exchange. Do you know, I spoke about, if you love yourself, you are attractive to others. You realize that. Your receptiveness towards yourself prepares you to give yourself totally to someone else, and a deep emotional exchange will be possible, a giving and receiving of overflowing love. The union here that I see is one that occurs in complete harmony, as which is symbolized by these two horse-dolphin things. Now, the cups here are filled and they're overflowing, symbolizing the overflowing emotional riches present. This is an image of complete joy and silent ecstasy. Now, it's probably a good thing that I spoke about a honeymoon, because I'm actually getting the feeling here that the Six of Cups is coming along to say something relevant. And the astrology is the sun in Scorpio. I'll talk about that in a moment. Here are 6 cups above the sea of emotions and of matter, and they are in the symbol of the triangle for water. Now, here is an eagle flying across the top. The eagle is the exalted form of Scorpio. Scorpio has 3 forms: the scorpion, the snake, and in the exalted sense, the eagle. And here is the sun in the background. I think that's quite straightforward from a description point of view. But I've got to tell you what this is all about is that, well, it's the sun ruling Scorpio. And what I also have in the number 6 is the sun as well. And so there's a double sun coming into Scorpio, and a double sun reveals what Scorpio wants to hide. And we're talking about pleasure here, but it's a kind of pleasure which is completely harmonized. Now, in Scorpio, pleasure is here rooted in its most convenient soil. This is a preeminently fertile card and one of the best in the pack. We're talking about indulgence, sexual pleasure, excitement, communication with ancestors, and family support, lust, enjoyment, and pleasure in sexual relationships, and a rich exchange of sexual and heart energy. So enjoy now all of which life gives you. This is the best way to express your gratitude. Now, the emphasis here is on a relationship or a desire to have a relationship that will improve both of the individuals, where the whole is greater than the sum of its past. And there's also a great degree of healing going on during this period as well. Are you holding on to old beliefs which prevent your enjoyment of pleasure? Enjoy your own emotional wealth and share it with someone else. And say this to yourself: I'm now open to a partner with whom I can share the joys of love on all levels. What a particularly good spread for you. Well done, you. Well, I personally found that to be fascinating, didn't you? What a lot of great things happening for you this month, and don't you deserve it? Surely you do, that's for sure. And it's going to be probably until now next month before there's your card goes back over there, that mood card. It won't be until next month now that I see you unless you contact me privately. So, but I would ask you this: if you did enjoy the reading, then on the way out, please hit the like button because it helps the YouTube computer do things with the videos. You understand how that works. Probably a lot better than I do, I should say. But until I see you again, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.